Hello everyone, Dr. Suresh here, Professor of Biochemistry and your GAMES faculty for NEET PG, INICT and FMG for the subject Biochemistry. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the NEET PG applicants who have successfully given their attempt to procure the seat for the PG 2023. Hope you will be getting it, and quickly let us jump into our recall session NEET PG 2023. So before going into the session, I would like to tell you that this time there were 16 questions so far, whatever I have recollected from across the social media posted by various students, and out of these 16, the maximum number of questions have been asked and covered from the vitamins, and rest of the few questions that have been asked like image based, and the two mainly from inborn errors of metabolism. So with this, they have tried to introduce new concept of asking questions, like what to say. So far the questions they have been asked in previous exams, like glycogen synthase we have not seen any of the previous examinations, but this time they have asked like a glycogen synthase, and also they have given the characteristics of certain disorders. Like one such example is like no glycogen in liver. Before it was like image based questions showing the biopsy or like histopathological smears and asking the things, right? So this year it is the new concept. So before starting the session, so I'll be wishing you all the best for your result. So first question to be discussed in the recall session, that is a children's urine turned dark on standing, the probable defect is. So here remember, in our revision classes and in the TND sessions also, we have already stressed more on the image based as well as inborn errors. So this question is related to inborn errors of protein metabolism, right? So what are all the inborn errors of protein metabolism? If you see like phenylketonuria, alkaptonuria, maple syrup urine disease, right? So they have their own characteristic peculiar odor or color, right? So here what is the characteristic feature they have mentioned, that is urine turns to dark. Urine turns to dark. So black urine disease. So we have already learned this also in our previous revision classes. Black urine disease. So this black urine disease, if you talk about, because of accumulation and excretion of the compound that is homogenistate oxidase, right? So this alkaptin substances, otherwise it will be known as alkaptin substances. So with this we can make out what are the correct options and wrong options. So the correct option, that is alkaptonuria. In alkaptonuria, this homogenistic acid will be excreted because of deficiency of the enzyme homogenistate oxidase, as homogenistic acid will not be converted into further products, so that homogenistate level will be increased in the serum and they start excreting in the urine. So when the homogenistate oxidase excrete in the urine, when it get exposed to the air, a chemical reaction which convert the urine into black color. So here the probable defect is alkaptonuria. Phenylketonuria, it is of more of like characteristic odor, mousy odor, as phenylketone bodies will be converted into phenyllactate, phenylpyruvate, phenylacetate, right? And type 1 tyrosinemia, it's like more of like albinism. So this is also ruled out option. So the correct option is dark on standing, the urine which is turned dark on standing, that is alkaptonuria. Second question, that is a chronic alcoholic, high NADH NAD ratio with normal urea, which of the following is expected in this individual? So remember, he is a chronic alcoholic person and in indicating high NADH NAD ratio. So always remember, high NADH NAD ratio always indicates with what? So alcohol metabolism is will be having like alcohol dehydrogenase and then aldehyde dehydrogenase, right? So there is a metabolism, more and more amount of NADH will be produced, and this NADH will be converting into like pyruvate into lactate. So this is the ruled out option. And high glucose, no, there will be requirement of energy, so more amount of pyruvate will be there, and more lactose will be there. So this is also ruled out option. And low urate, no, remember we have already seen the condition like gout, the conditions which exaggerate the production of uric acid, high levels of uric acid, alcohol, right? So here it will be high urate, the answer will be high urate, not low urate. And moreover, what happened, alcohol involved in the excretion of uric acid more in the renal tubules, right? So the condition will be like high urate, hyperuricemia. He's already given the condition, chronic alcoholic person, which increases the level of uric acid so that more amount of uric acid will be excreted in the urine. So the correct option is high urate. Third question, respiratory distress syndrome is caused by the defect of respiratory distress syndrome caused by the deficiency of syndrome. So first year professionals, we used to stress them in the lipids chapter, the clinical significance of glycerophospholipids, especially to take lecithin, right? So glycerophospholipid example, one of the important example, that is lecithin. So here dipalmityl lecithin or dipalmityl choline. So this dipalmityl lecithin or dipalmityl choline is acting as a lung surfactant. So here the option is lecithin. So absence of this leads to respiratory distress syndrome. The next question to see, a person presented with the neurological manifestations mimicking upper motor neuron palsy and sensory neuropathy. So remember here the 2 points to be noted. One is upper motor neuron palsy and then sensory. So here both motor as well as sensory neurological manifestations involved, right? The patient was pale and investigations revealed anemia. So here what happened, here neurological manifestations also there, anemia is also there. So the probable micronutrient deficiency, so it is vitamin based question. So here which vitamin, so we have already learned that the vitamin which is involved in neurological manifestations as well as in anemia. So which one? So the correct option is B12. The correct option is B12. Why? So why there is both neurological as well as anemia? So here we will see folate and B12 will work together, right? So in deficiency of folic acid, you will be getting what? Megaloblastic anemia, macrocytic anemia, you can say. So as folate, so in case of B12 deficiency, what happened? There is an enzyme methionine synthase. As B12 is not there, this methionine synthase will not be working. So that what happens? There is no production of methionine from homocysteine, right? And what happened? This folate, which is like methyl tetrahydrofolate, which will be trapped this way and will not be converting into tetrahydrofolate, as it cannot donate its methyl group to B12 to form methylcobalamin, and this methylcobalamin is a donor to homocysteine to form methionine by the enzyme methionine synthase. So as B12 is deficient, so this methyl tetrahydrofolate is locked, this folic acid is locked as methyl tetrahydrofolate, that is known as folate trap, that is folate trap. So which leads to megaloblastic anemia, right? And how about neurological manifestations? So if you want to see the neurological manifestations, here neurological manifestations, methylmalonic methylmalonyl MMA, that is like what methylmalonyl CoA. Methylmalonyl CoA that will be accumulated in the myelin sheath of the neurons. Okay. So, this causes demyelination of neurons, leads to neurological manifestations. Okay. So, that is the thing. So, one is for anemia, the main reason is decreasing the activity of methionine synthase, okay, and other one is methylmalonyl CoA, okay, methylmalonyl CoA that is not there. So, this methylmalonyl substance will be deposited in the myelin sheath of the neurons, so that demyelination of neurons leads to sensory as well as motor neurological manifestations. So, here that is the reason. So, the correct answer is B12. So, B9 is involved only in megaloblastic anemia. Methylmalonyl, the main enzyme defect like causing neurological manifestation, that is the absence of enzyme methylmalonyl CoA mutase. So, because of that methylmalonyl CoA deposited. So, as I mentioned, right. So, jump to the next question. So, a child was fatigued after exercise and the blood sample collected soon after exercise showed low glucose and lactate level. The probable diagnosis. So, the key points what to remember here, that is after fatigued after exercise. So, exercise intolerance, what the point you have to remember, that is exercise intolerance, exercise intolerance. And what is the thing, blood sample shows low glucose and lactate level. So, that means there is no glucose, there is no lactate, no glucose and no lactate levels. So, that means it indicates what? It is a glycogen storage disorder. It is glycogen storage disorder, glycogen storage disorder. Von Greiff's disease, Torres disease, McArdle disease, Anderson disease, these are the options as given. So, we can rule out easily Von Greiff's disease as it is because of the absence of the enzyme glucose 6 phosphatase. So, it has nothing to do, no organomegaly has given, right. So, Von Greiff's disease is ruled out option. Torres disease is liver phosphofructokinase enzyme deficiency. Anderson disease is because of branching enzyme. So, here it is degradation of substance, right. So, here we have like McArdle disease, that is exercise intolerance. We have to say the enzyme is because of the deficiency of the enzyme muscle glycogen phosphorylase, muscle glycogen phosphorylase, this is the defect enzyme. So, here exercise intolerance, why? Because when there is anaerobic condition, right, exercise, severe exercise. So, in anaerobic condition what happened, because of absence of this glycogen phosphorylase, the stored form of energy in the muscles, glycogen has to break down and to provide energy to form glucose, right, to glucose to give energy. But here because of like anaerobic conditions, this muscle glycogen phosphorylase will be deactivated. I mean like there is no production of this enzyme, there is no glycogen degradation to provide energy to the muscles. So, that is the reason exercise intolerance. So, as glycogen is not degrading, there is no glucose. So, as there is no glucose, what happened in aerobic condition, there is no production of lactose also. So, that is the reason here what happened, low glucose as well as low lactate level. So, this is the two key features of McArdle disease, exercise intolerance, low glucose, low lactate. In anaerobic condition, lactate level has to be increased, but here what happened, because of low levels of glucose, lactate is also unable to produce, so low lactate levels. So, the correct option is McArdle disease. The next question, that is a child present with dementia, diarrhea and dermatitis, which of the following suspected deficiency? So, in image based questions and also in TND sessions also, revision classes also, every time we stressed the most favorite question of the competitive exams, pellagra, the characteristic features, that is 3D. What is that? First D, dementia, diarrhea, dermatitis. So pellagra, these are the characteristics of pellagra, and we are all aware pellagra because of the vitamin deficiency, that is B3 niacin. Right. So the correct option is option C, niacin. Yeah. Another question, there is a history of village people consuming a crop as a staple diet, and most of them are presenting with paresis and using a stick to stand. Which of the vitamin consumption would help the condition? So the again one more question on vitamins. Right, here the thing is, like, it is known as mostly to say osteoletharism. Osteoletharism. Okay, so this is like what to say, lethyrus, because this osteoletharism caused by the molecule, what to say, that is lethyrus, their crop, that is lethyrus, the crop what they are consuming, that is lethyrus odoratus, which contains a chemical component, that is beta amino propionate. So this is the thing they have, beta amino propionate, which inhibits what? It inhibits the enzyme, that is lysyl oxidase. So we are already aware, for maturation of collagen, maturation is nothing but cross linkage of collagen requires the enzyme lysyl oxidase, and this lysyl oxidase supported by vitamin C. Okay, so as this beta amino propionate as inhibiting lysyl oxidase, this is vitamin C dependent enzyme. So this enzyme will not work. So there is no cross linkage of collagen. And what to say, it doesn't mature the collagen, so it leads to osteoletharism. And there is one more thing is there, that is neuroletharism, that is caused by BOA, the toxin, that is BOA toxin, which causes neuroletharism. So here osteoletharism has got a chemical component, that is beta amino propionate, which inhibits the enzyme lysyl oxidase, which is a vitamin C dependent enzyme, leads to no cross linkage or no maturation of collagen, leads to osteoletharism. So the correct option is vitamin C. Okay. The next question again based on the vitamin, that is a family consuming polished rice would present with which of the following vitamin deficiencies? Match the vitamin deficiency with the enzyme assessment. So here what are the options they have given? Riboflavin with glutathione, pyridoxine with xanthuric acid, riboflavin with transcetulase, thiamine with transcetulase. So the key points what you have to note down here, that is polished rice, because polished rice doesn't contain, otherwise you can say unpolished rice, the outer layer, outer coating of grains, what it has got? Anurine. What it has got? Anurine. Okay, this anurine is absent in polished rice, right, which leads to thiamine deficiency. So we are all aware that thiamine is energy producing vitamin. So all energy producing metabolism like carbohydrate glycolysis you take, otherwise you say lipid beta oxidation you take, right. All energy producing metabolisms they require thiamine. As thiamine is not there, so energy deficient obviously. So what enzymes dependent on thiamine? So we have already learned that multi-enzyme complexes, PDH complex, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase complex are dependent on thiamine, right. And one enzyme is there, that is HMP shunt enzyme, that is transketolase. Transketolase is the enzyme which requires thiamine, So, if by seeing the activity of this enzyme we can assess the deficiency of thiamine. Okay, by seeing the level of this enzyme we can assess the deficiency of thiamine. So, the correct option is D, thiamine with transcutulase, and there are other options like yes, riboflavin with glutathione reductase. Okay, glutathione reductase is for selenium, glutathione reductase is for riboflavin. Okay, and thiamine transcutulase. So, remember the options like riboflavin for glutathione reductase, glutathione peroxidase is for glutathione peroxidase is for B2 selenium, and thiamine is like estimating transcutulase. Okay, thiamine is for transcutulase. Okay. The next question, that is, when there is low insulin glucagon ratio, which of the following enzyme is stimulated? So, remember, low insulin means high glucagon levels. Okay, insulin is low in level and glucagon is high in concentration. So, we are all aware that glucagon is hyperglycemic hormone. So, glucagon is hyperglycemic hormone. That means when your glucose levels are low, glucagon will be released from the pancreas to increase your blood glucose levels to get it to the normal level, right? So, what are the things here? So, which enzymes will be activated by the glucagon? So, here phosphofructokinase 1 has given option hormone sensitive lipase, they have given glycogen synthase, they have given lipoprotein lipase. So, here we need what to say, here we need breaking down of like stored form of energy like lipids or glycogen. So, glycogen synthase is like formation of like storage going to form the glycogen. So, it is a ruled out option. Lipoprotein lipase is like another enzyme which takes place in the lipoproteins to separate the content or lower the content of glycerides, right? That is also ruled out option. So, phosphofructokinase is also ruled out option. Leftover option is hormone sensitive lipase. Yes, hormone sensitive lipase is present in the arterial walls. Whenever there is a movement of triglycerides from the adipose tissue, it cleaves the triglyceride to fatty acid and then glycerol. This fatty acid will undergo beta oxidation and to provide acetyl CoA to enter into gluconeogenesis to produce glucose, right? So, here the thing is, correct answer is hormone sensitive lipase. This is a degradative enzyme for peripheral fats, stored fats. So, now another question here, which of the following micronutrient deficiency cause poor wound healing? Here what is the question? Again vitamin based question this is. Which of the following micronutrient deficiency cause poor wound healing? We have already learnt wound healing, what you require collagen, and collagen synthesis requires vitamin C, right? Again vitamin C here what it requires, right? Okay. Here copper based enzyme, here sorry, it is not a vitamin based, it is a micronutrient here. Okay, mineral. Which mineral? So, remember, for collagen synthesis and maturation we require one vitamin and one mineral. Both the enzymes lysyl oxidase and prolyl hydroxylase or lysyl hydroxylase, okay, they require vitamin C as well as one mineral, that is copper. Okay, so the correct option is copper here. So, if they have given vitamin C, that is also correct option. So, here they have asked purely about minerals. Which mineral? So, copper is required for collagen synthesis, right? For maturation we require vitamin C. Okay. The biochemical basis of scurvy. The biochemical basis of scurvy, again this is vitamin C. Okay, so what happens in scurvy? So, there are the characteristic features they have given. So, bleeding gums and other etc. by the students, but simply I kept the question as like scurvy only. So, what happens in scurvy? So, the options are like impaired collagen synthesis, increased keratinization of epithelium, inhibition of clotting factors, low calcium. So, here it is main thing is vitamin C functioning, you can say collagen synthesis. In scurvy, the poor wound healing, bleeding gums, right? So, all these things are there. So, it leads to impaired collagen synthesis. The correct option is impaired collagen synthesis. Yeah. The next question, a child presented with difficulty in vision on examination, cherry red spots were seen on macula. There was no organomegaly. So here they have seen that they have mentioned that there is no organomegaly. So here vision difficulty, you can make out that there are neurological manifestations. Okay. And if you see about Niemann-Pick disease, there is organomegaly. If you see the Niemann-Pick disease, there is organomegaly. So it is a ruled out option. Tay-Sachs disease, if you talk about what to say, so what is the correct option you can say here, that is Hunter's disease, there is no visionary difficulties, so this is also ruled out option. So Gaucher's disease, again it is also ruled out option, so here anemia is a prominent feature. So correct answer is Tay-Sachs. In Tay-Sachs there is neurological manifestations leading to the vision difficulties, right. So the correct option is Tay-Sachs disease. Next question, a child presents with dementia, diarrhea and dermatitis, what is the probable diagnosis? So here again you can say dementia, diarrhea, dermatitis, the thing is B3. The correct answer, that is B3, that means pellagra. What is the vitamin B3? That is niacin. A child with dermatitis, it's like to say thinning of hair and alopecia, it's thinning of hair and alopecia. Family has given the history of eating raw eggs for a long time, what is the probable? So this is again water soluble vitamin based question. So we have already learned that antagonists of B7, okay, that is avidin. Avidin is present in raw eggs. So what happened, this avidin inhibits absorption of biotin. So biotin, otherwise it is B7, right. So we have already learned that biotin is required for carboxylation reactions and also important for like beautification, like biotin based shampoos. Almost all the commercials you are seeing, almost all the shampoos, they are B7 biotin enriched shampoo, right. So for healthy hair we require biotin. So as avidin is there, it is inhibiting the biotin absorption from the intestine, so leads to biotin deficiency. So that is the reason for alopecia and thinning of hair. So the correct option is B7. Here the antagonist of B7, that is avidin, which is present in raw eggs. So that is the reason it is better to consume boiled egg rather than a raw egg, so that you will not be deficient of B7. Yeah. Again one more image based question. A child presented with refractory anemia, the smear of bone marrow biopsy of the child shown in the image, the enzyme deficiency. So here it is an example of Gaucher's disease. The enzyme deficient here, that is beta glucocerebrosidase, again lipid storage disorder. So crumbled tissue paper, okay, crumbled tissue in the smear, right. So as the glucose cerebroside is going to accumulate in the cells especially, so the neutrophils will come and accumulates, and they also give crumbled tissue paper structure. So the enzyme deficiency is beta glucocerebrosidase. So 1 alpha glucosidase, it gives the disease Pompe's disease. Hexosaminidase A, again it is it's not involved. Hexosaminidase B, these are all ruled out options. So the correct option is beta glucocerebrosidase, that is Gaucher's disease, right. So for today's session, the last question, that is image based again. So here they have shown the picture of kid. So I have just showed the X-ray. The kid with the bow legs. The kid with the bow legs. So the probable diagnosis we already know, that is rickets. The correct option is rickets. So these are all the probable questions what I have got across the social media like Telegram, Facebook. So there might be plus or two like few questions like and also integrated questions with the biochemistry. So that will be getting a clear idea maybe in a couple of days. Right. So far these are the 16 questions what I have got, and this is like according to me the paper is damn easy as per the biochemistry point of view. So hope if this is the pattern of the questions, like many of you may get 16 out of 16, at least 14, so that you will be better scoring in biochemistry. And I am telling you this also, that our revision series and TND sessions has got all these questions. These were the questions that have been asked from whatever the discussions we have got in the GAMEPG app. Right. So, and once again I am telling you all the best for your results. I am also wishing you to get the seat whatever the desired specialty that you are seeking for. So thanks for listening and watching. Thank you.